Barcelona now have a major issue on their hands that I don't think is being talked enough about, because there's just been given news that Casado is out for the next 2 months. Obviously, we can see it says here, Casado out for 2 months, and this is due to a partial tear in a ligament in his knee, I'm pretty sure. But this is a much more big of an issue than I think people are making out to be, because Casado has been immense for Barcelona, and most importantly at the start of the season. But it's not just about how good he's been, it's about what he can offer, whether he's going to play the game or not, or whether he's going to start or not. So if you take a look at the Casado versus De Jong this season, I'm not really comparing them to compare them and see who's better. I'm comparing them to show you what player gives what on the pitch. So clearly look at their heat maps. I mean, Casado is everywhere, as is De Jong, but Casado's been more impactful. Of course, he's played more minutes as well, but overall, he is everywhere. Now, of course, these are all going to kind of favor Casado because he has played more minutes, but the main point of this is that Casado has been better defensively, and if you watch the games, De Jong's been better, with control, with driving the team forward with his driving ability on the ball, and Casado has provided more of the defensive security side of things. Now, the big issue here is that not only that will Casado be out, because if we remember, this season wouldn't have been even started for Barcelona without Casado, because at the start of the season, De Jong, not only was he injured, but he was poor. And De Jong at that time, fair enough, he received his fair share, because people were crying, oh, De Jong, don't hate on him, he's injured, or don't hate on him, he's a great player, he can be great. No, he wasn't good, especially for the money he's earning. He wasn't good. He was earning, he still is earning $700K in Bitcoin a week, but the difference is now that he's actually kind of warranting it. The major issue is that Casado was a monster at the start of the season, and Barca wouldn't have gotten to where they were without him. He was the only serious defensive midfielder next to Pedri for the first 4 or 5 months. And now that they've lost him, not only have they lost a player like that, but they've also lost the option to even use a player like that. If you take a look at the Barca starting lineup and how it will look probably for the rest of the season, or at least especially in the big games, of course we're going to have Chesney, Koundé, Kubarsi, who might be rotated with Araujo. It's going to depend on performances and what the game is. Inigo, Balde, Casado we'll use for now, Pedri, Olmo, Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Yamal. Now this is what it's going to be, just if Casado was still healthy. Now, what Casado offers for this team is that security. Now, I'm not saying De Jong can do this, but Casado is more of that because of his ball-winning ability, of his, he's not afraid to get stuck in. He's just going to be that net for Barcelona when they inevitably push up all the way on the pitch. When Barca's pushing up, even the defenders are in the final third of the pitch. this is how high up they are. Literally up here. Of course, it's more into the box over here, but this is the point. The point is that this is how high Barca pushes up, and Casado is the net for that. And he's going to be the player that's going to win the ball, do the high intensity pressure on the players that are countering from the other teams. And overall, he is very important defensively. Now, Barcelona have lost the option to have a player like this, because Hansi Flick can look at games now and see if Barca's playing against a team that doesn't press super highly, then you can use De Jong. But if Barca's playing against a team that presses really high intensity, wants to attack, Casado might actually be the favorite here over De Jong because of his ball-winning ability. Now Barca don't have that option. And we have to reiterate that Bernal has also been injured for the whole season. Now, I don't know what you guys have seen from Bernal overall, but what I saw from him, and I know a good talent when I see it because of how he carried himself on the pitch. This kid is no joke, Bernal. He was a monster. And there was a reason why he was starting next to Pedri, and it wasn't Casado who was doing it, and it wasn't anybody else who was starting there. It was Bernal, because he was winning everything. He was a beast at linking up the defense and the midfield and the attack, great at it. He was very good at just positioning himself, finding great passes, circulating the ball. Monster. I hope he returns from his injury and just is back stronger than ever before. But if we continue with this video, De Jong. What De Jong offers here is control. He is obviously, Casado is going to be more of the ball winning, DM, But De Jong's going to bring more control. He's going to bring more of an ability for Olmo and Pedri to push up because he's going to have more control in this area. He's not going to lose the ball or be more suspect to losing the ball as Casado, and he's going to provide a good passes here. And also when Barca's defending, they receive the ball and they want to go on the counter, De Jong's really good at driving up with the ball while everyone, the runners like Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, Olmo, whoever it may be, they're making the runs. De Jong's good at driving the team up like that. And I'm not saying De Jong's a bad ball winner or a defender, but there have been moments where he isn't the most attentive, and I think overall you could say Casado's better at that aspect of the game. So De Jong's going to be very important to step up for the rest of the season, to be honest, because Casado's going to be out for 2 months. He's going to be back in late May, apparently. So that's basically all the season. De Jong's going to be very important for him to step up, and he has these issues sometimes where he misses a game or two like he did for last game. I mean, stomach bug, little discomfort here, little discomfort there, and it's just going to be important for him to stay fully healthy, step up. What's also going to be important is Eric Garcia. Now, he's not going to start a lot of these games, of course. It's going to be mostly De Jong. If he's fit, hopefully, I hope there's no more injuries. But Garcia is going to be asked to step up a lot, too. Now, overall, Garcia has done very well to step up for what he's been given this season. Obviously, before the season started, Garcia is one of those players in Barcelona that, people just wanted him out. They weren't, too fond of keeping him. It was just, clear the wages bill. He's one of those players that's not really needed. But I think he's done well to step up and provide that option, whether it's been at center back or at the DM position that he's played under Hansi Flick. And he's going to be asked to step up as well, whether it's rotation, whether it's starting in the smaller games. He has to step up and fill in for that Casado role, because Barca's not going to be able to play all these games solely with Pedri and De Jong. They're going to have some rotation. It's going to be Gavi's turn to step up as well. He has to find his form again. I know he's had a year injury and he's been back for a few months now, but he still has to find his form and get up to the highest intensity. Gavi has to step up and, be a serious option to use in the pivot. And I think that it's going to be very important to do this because Barca are still in the competition for all 3 competitions. I mean, they're still in the running for these, especially the UCL. They really want it this season. You can tell with the way Hansi Flick plays in that competition with the team. The main goal is the UCL. Of course, they're still fighting for the Copa del Rey and La Liga. The main goal is the UCL, though, and that's probably the case with most teams. But it's going to be very important now that this player's been injured, Casado, for Barcelona for Hansi Flick at least, to figure out how to rotate, who to use, and when, and for how long, how many minutes a game. Is going to be a lot of discussion going into this between him and his team. A lot of work on the laptops with the doctors and how the players are feeling before each game. It's going to be a lot going into this. But overall, the point is that it's going to be very important because the schedule is coming up after this international break. It's going to be not only very tight packed with games every 3-4 days, but the games are going to be big. Osasuna, which is a game scheduled for that day apparently, whatever. Girona is going to be up after that. Atleti away in the second leg of the Copa del Rey, no joke. Real Betis at home, no joke. Then the UCL starts. Leganés away. Listen, this is where it gets serious. And even games like Leganés away, it's not going to be the easiest for Barcelona because Hansi Flick's going to want to rotate during those games. And when you do that, you're not going to have the best performers out there. So for those being games that you want to win and the team having to rotate, it's still going to make it difficult. And this is why the games become more interesting at this point of the season and more difficult, more intense, because at this point, whether you're a small team or not, or whether you're a big team or not, whether you're in a relegation battle or not, every game becomes a must win. And listen, it's going to be important for Barca as a club to get this right. It's going to be important for the right players to step up at the right moments. But yeah, I just want to make this video real quick to talk about this specific injury for Barcelona, because I think it's not being talked about enough on social media, whether it's on videos, whether it's on short form, long form videos, whether it's on Twitter, whatever it may be. It's not being talked about enough, and I really hope it doesn't. I hope the players step up and it doesn't just mess up or disrupt the trajectory the team's on, because the pivot positions are very important in Barcelona. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video.